Welcome along to Shanghai, ladies and gentlemen, where it's Chinese Grand Prix weekend. But before we can race, we need to qualify. And who's going to take that coveted pole position? How will our grid line up? We're about to find out. Welcome to qualifying.
All right, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend. So we'll see you all tomorrow. And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend. So we'll see you all tomorrow.
Here's a quick position rundown for you. The top 5 are the fastest lap at the moment, 1 minute 34.9. Verstappen, Alonso, Antonelli, Russell and Stroll.
And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend. So we'll see you all tomorrow. So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone of turn 14. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Antonelli, George Russell and Stroll, Behrman, Lawson, Bortoletto and Franco Colapinto, Hadja, Hulkenberg, Yuki Tsunoda and Sainz, Gasly, Ocon, Charles Leclerc and Oscar Piastri. Norris and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. Now, I'll be generous here, it's not that long ago that you were racing and entertaining us on a Sunday, but in the years since, the sport has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has, Crofty. You know, the cars have got bigger, they're heavier, but critically, there's more downforce to play with as well now. There was around 4 tons of downforce on the car at 300 kilometres an hour when I drove. You're now looking more towards 5 tons of downforce. So there's a big difference in performance. But because of that, the car being heavier and bigger, you've got to drive in a smoother way. You've got to look after it a bit more. You've got to nurse it through the slow speed corners more. They were much more nimble, agile machines when I drove in Formula 1 compared to now.
Okay, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, good parking there, mate. Now we need to make sure we get a great launch as the race starts. Yes, and that's a podium. Excellent drive. The whole team have worked especially hard this weekend, and that, my friend, is a fantastic reward. Well done.
Mega job, guys. What an amazing result. Thank you so much. So proud of you all. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep pushing.
Thank you.
So that wraps up the sprint race, but there's still more action yet to come this weekend. We've got qualifying and, of course, the Grand Prix. Welcome along to Shanghai, ladies and gentlemen, where it's Chinese Grand Prix weekend. But before we can race, we need to qualify. And who's going to take that coveted pole position? How will our grid line up? We're about to find out. Welcome to qualifying.
Radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
You're in first position, front of the pack. Okay, so the current fastest lap, 1:35.5. And we're in front of Hulkenberg, Russell and Antonelli. You're leading the pack, that's P1. Okay, so the current fastest lap, 1:35.4. And just behind us are Tsunoda, Norris and Antonelli. Here are the top 5 cars as things stand. The fastest lap at the moment, 1:44.1. Leclerc, Russell, Verstappen, Piastri and Antonelli. Okay, radar is clear, weather is looking good for now. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Couldn't go faster, mate.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. Good afternoon, everybody. We're here in Shanghai. Shanghai International Circuit, then, is a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience, and the flat, open to the elements location, test their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and they're available into turn 1 and down the kilometre-long back straight into turn 14. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Antonelli, Verstappen, Oscar Piastri and Hülkenberg, Norris, Tsunoda, Hamilton and Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Gabriel Bortoleto and Hadjar, Stroll, Sainz, Alex Albon and Franco Colapinto. Behrman and Liam Lawson rounds off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
Well, you've got to be prepared, Crofty. Before you even step foot inside the car, you've got to know, you've got to have a pre-race game plan. You've watched videos before you get into the car of previous races gone by. You know where you have to place your car if X, Y, or Z happens in front of you or behind you. So having this clear game plan is absolutely essential before you get in the car.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out. Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch. enabled. DRS enabled. Okay, as things stand, we're going to be 5th in the championship. Look out for a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past. Caution, caution. Right, there's a big incident in front of you. Red flag, red flag. We'll update you in the pits. Everyone's okay? Right, this is a good chance to change our strategy for the rest of the Grand Prix if we want to. Back on track. Let's make the best of this restart. Let's go. DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled. box, box. We're coming in this lap.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 17.1 seconds. Pit now. Understood. Stopping this lap. Okay, that's a red flag. Red flag. We'll stay in the pits now. Okay, mate, that's it. Okay, we've done all right so far, but this is a chance to take a breath. We've got another half of this race to go, and there's still a big opportunity there. Right. Again. Tyre condition still looking good. Safety car, no overtaking, reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up.
Okay, well. Thanks, mate.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace. As things stand right now, we'll be 4th in the championship. Car in this lap, safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember there's no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags. Okay, clear. The pace is strong, but be aware these tyres need to go the distance. Green flag. mate. I'll take that. Well done. We're really happy with the podium down here, so well done. Yes!
Awesome job, guys. Apologies for that mistake earlier on, but we live and we learn. On to the next one.
We've seen a brilliant display of the Russell hustle. It's George Russell who wins.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
It's time to bring out the bubbly and spray it around. It's our podium celebrations. By George, he was good today. The top step awaits for George Russell. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.